At Open the Door to Tai Chi, we do Tai Chi to get the benefits of this wonderful form of exercise. We don't do it so that we can be the best in the world. We want our bodies to be the best they can be. When we're first learning Tai Chi, of course, we're worried about what we're doing, where our hands, where our feet. And quite frankly, we look like white belts when we're doing it, the beginning belt of a martial art. And then as we progress and we learn more and we learn how to apply the underlying principles, we can improve the flow of our Tai Chi, which actually improves the benefits that we receive from Tai Chi. Of course, anybody can look at anybody's form and actually make some improvements to it. No one is ever perfect. We can all learn, we can all grow, we can all improve our movements. So one of the things I want to talk about today is taking that step of improvement and learning to move from the Dantian so that it controls the whole body. That your arms are not actually separate limbs from the Dantian. They're an extension of that energy moving from the Dantian. The legs, the same thing. Yes, our arms will be moving. Yes, our legs will be moving. But if we learn to really focus on moving from the Dantian, our whole body will start to respond to the commander, the Dantian. So let's do pushing Qi to start with. Bringing your left foot forward. If I were to, I'm going to do it incorrectly at first. I'll move this direction. If I were to do pushing Qi and let my arms do the movement, okay, there's a lot of things wrong here, right? I'm straightening out my arms. This is not a very relaxing movement. If I do too much, I'm going to break my columns. There's a lot going on that's not good for your body. Even if I start to try to round my arms, but I'm moving from my arms instead of from the Dantian, again, this rounded motion is good, but it's still not relaxing, and it's still not using the Dantian as the commander. If, however, I start to focus on moving from here, and just put your hands on your Dantian. Don't even think about anything else, just letting that Dantian go back, a little bit over the right, forward, a little bit over the left. There's actually a little bit of a kind of figure eight motion going on. And now I'm going to face forward, and I want you to bring your hands to the level of that Dantian. And now don't lose that idea. Don't start to focus on your hands. Just move from the Dantian and feel that energy. Push your hands out. And then as you come back, as you lead with the Dantian, feel the arms coming back. Pushing out, pushing in, becoming one unit in your body, not separate legs, separate arms, but one united movement. You know, we talk about upper and lower following one another. We talk about shoulders and hips being in harmony. You should have a whole body unit moving. You can practice pushing Qi for a long time and really start to feel that whole body effect. Wave hands like clouds is one that when we first learn it, for some people it's very difficult to understand this left hand moving and then the right hand moving the opposite direction. Oftentimes people will get confused and they'll start to have their arms go the opposite direction. Once we learn left hand is counterclockwise, right hand is clockwise, then we can move up, we can improve with that. We can start to say, look at this ball of energy that we're holding and moving across our body. And we're rotating, and then we switch the arms and we move back the other way. Switch the arms, come back. Then we can step up again and start to learn to let the Dantian truly lead that motion. If you look almost at, I don't know if you can see my zipper here, it's right here at my Dantian. That Dantian is coming over that base of support, rotating. And then simply as I come back, I let my body relax and move as one whole unit. This now is not separate arms moving clockwise or counterclockwise, but that rotation, that moving from the Dantian is allowing my body to become unified. Part the wild horse's mane can be a little bit confusing if you think about whole body movement and allowing the Dantian to lead that motion. Because with part the wild horse's mane, one arm goes up and the other arm goes down, and we're opening up the body. And if you think, well, I can't do that without moving my arms. Well, of course you're moving your arms, but think about this motion here as you rotate into your part the wild horse's mane. Just put your hands on your Dantian again, step out with the left and rotate that Dantian so now that it comes over your left. Notice when you start, your Dantian's over your right and you rotate into with that Dantian coming over the left. Now holding the ball. Don't lose that sense of rotation. Just let the arms float to where they're supposed to go. Right now, as I'm holding the ball to the right, the left arm floats up and follows the Dantian. The right arm floats down. And now as I move into my next part the wild horse's mane, I'm going to allow my Dantian to lead. Trying to get my body to be in unison with one another, that it's this middle section is my transfer case. It's transferring power from the bottom into my arms, releasing energy into my opponent, but it has to be a whole body effect. It has to be a coordinated effect. And we need to work on that as we get better with our Tai Chi. Repulse the monkey. The same kind of idea of, well, I have to move my arms. I have to move in such a way that, how do I do that as a whole body? Think about bringing your left foot forward, bringing your left hand forward, right hand. Now bring that right hand up and over and don't move your legs, just rotate. It's very awkward feeling, right? Now, bringing your weight back to the right as that Dantian starts to move in that rotation, the right arm just follows. And now as the Dantian completes that rotation, the left arm just floats back. And now as the Dantian starts, notice that left arm comes forward. And as it completes that rotation, the right arm can come back. I'm going to turn this direction. As we do that, repulse the monkey. Focus on your Dantian. It's the movement of the Dantian that starts the backhand coming forward. It's not this and then this. It's the rotation actually starts to bring that hand forward, and then the rotation actually completes the opening back up. Let's do one more. Rotating and completing. Ward off is we learn it as a sequence and we learn it as a flow, but we also need to think about it as whole body movement. So holding that ball to the right, if we step out and back as we rotate from the dantian, notice that this left arm can just float up. And then I let the arms relax. Now as the dantian leads me to roll back, my hands can just gently fall. And then as my dantian leads to rotate and press, my hands just fall into place. And then my dantian pulls back for my pushing chi, just what we practiced right at the beginning, and then float forward. Using the ward off sequence to get the whole body movement is a lot for your brain, but it's really good for your brain. Let's do it again, thinking about holding that ball. Let the dantian lead. Your body is one unit. Now as the dantian leads that roll back, of course, we're also thinking about our substantial and insubstantial, but right now, let's just think about that dantian leading the movement and trying to focus on allowing our limbs to not lead, but to be followers and to be part of the whole unit. Snake creeps, pheasant stands is certainly one of the harder movements that we do in the form. And that again is a difficult one to think about. How do I do my snake creeps and remain so that I'm not just moving my limbs separately? If you take creeps and simplify it, make it a little bit easier. Don't worry about bringing your leg out and being super flexible and getting as low as possible. Simplify the movement first so that you can learn how it can become a whole body movement. If you're forming that bird's beak, weights on the right, you're stepping out. Notice that dantian starts that movement. You're stepping out and the left hand here just follows that dantian as you rotate over your left shoulder, bringing your weight up onto that left. Now let your energy and your dantian pull that right leg up into your pheasant stance. Again, if you take out the whole idea of having to go low and muscle your way through it, which you don't want to do, if you simply think about rotating over to the left, letting that weight come all the way onto the left, and then lifting from the dantian, coming into your pheasant stance. Yes, it's going to take practice. That's what I wanted to say at the very beginning of this video is we're improving, we're taking steps. When we first learn our snake creeps, we just want to shake our heads and go, I'll never be able to do that. But if we keep trying it, we improve. And now as we take it to that next level of whole body movement, you really need to think about moving from the dantian. Same thing with kick, smash, and box the ears. Moving from the dantian is not always rotation, Moving from the Dantian sometimes means to lift from the Dantian, to use your energy to kick, and then to lower that center of gravity so that you can move forward, just like our pushing chi, into your kick, smash, and box the ears. I'm going to turn this direction. If you think about letting your core, letting this central area take over and just lift, then letting that energy come out into a kick, smash, now lowering that center of gravity, coming forward into your box the ears. We want to make sure that we're not falling forward, that we're keeping our columns intact. Obviously, even though we're focusing on moving from the Dantian, it matters, all of the other principles come into play as well. With kick, smash, and box the ears, making it a whole body movement, thinking about, let's try to feel that energy coming up, coming out, gently lowering and moving. As I come forward, it's just like the pushing chi, where this forward motion, I'm allowing my Dantian to bring those arms forward. It's not easy, and it's something that certainly we can all improve on. And by working on that, moving from the Dantian, whole body movement, body being in unison, we're going to be able to reap more of the benefits of Tai Chi because our body will be more relaxed. We'll be able to move with more grace and ease because all of our units will be in unison, and that's actually easier movement. So I hope you've enjoyed thinking about how to incorporate moving from the Dantian as an important principle and having it transform, improve your Tai Chi into whole body movement.